All right, well, today is Saturday, July 25th, 2020. And right now we're looking at the water vapor map for northeastern Mexico and Texas. This is Category 1 Hurricane Hanna with 90-mile-per-hour winds. We can see that the satellite transmitters are targeting this storm. We can see that superheated water vapor rapidly expanding. The interesting thing about this, as we look at these satellite images, is that here in the long wave IR map, we don't see any activity by the WSR88D transmitters. We've got one located in Corpus Christi, which is KCRP, and we have one in Brownsville, which is right down at the Mexican border, down further south. That transmitter is KCRP, or pardon me, KBRO is the Brownsville transmitter. Now, all these WSR88D transmitters, they have call signs just like any FM or AM radio station because they put out a lot of power. They transmit high levels of RF power in watts. And so the FCC has to grant them licenses in order to operate and ensure that they stay within certain RF power limits and all the rest of it. So these are by virtue of the fact that they have call signs, it indicates that they are transmitting high power. Okay, so these WSR88Ds are nowhere to be found in these images. We see no pie-shaped cutouts of any sort. Furthermore, when we look at the Doppler radar, the current Doppler radar for Corpus Christi and the South Texas area right here on the Gulf Coast, we see that there is absolutely nothing going on with these WSR88Ds. They're just apparently non-functional. The people that are operating them, maybe they're on summer vacation. Actually, the answer is that in the wintertime, when we expect to have rain, is when we see the WSR88Ds in action to prevent rain and to prolong droughts like we saw here in California for the last, from all the way from 2011 all the way up to 2016. And actually the drought continued before 2011. We can see right now there's just zero precipitation anywhere. And well, I take that back. It looks like we have some thunderstorms up in the High Sierra, just west of Bishop, up in the Mammoth Lakes area and near Yosemite and all that. So that's nice to see. But Southern California, Central California, not much happening along the coast. Getting back to Texas, once again, absolutely zero activity from those WSR88Ds. If you look at the Hurricane Center map, National Hurricane Center, we see that Hanna has strengthened to Category 1 status with 90-mile-per-hour sustained winds with a central pressure of 973 millibar, and it's moving at 8 miles per hour to the west-southwest. So this is going to plow right into, it's actually right over Texas, as we're just looking at right here, over the Corpus Christi and Matamoros, I guess is the name of the area, right there on the Mexican side of the border there. And Brownsville, I think, is right in this area, but it's not showing up on the map. But anyhow, normally we would see, if this was coming into California, I can tell you there'd be pie-shaped cutouts all over the place because they don't allow this kind of rain in California ever. We just don't see these big storms come in and dump a lot of rain like we used to 25, 30, even 40 years ago. 40 years ago, we used to have rain that would last 5 days. We'd have a stint of rain that would last 5 days, and we'd have, 5 or 6 inches of rain over that time. We haven't had 5 days of rain straight for, many, many, many years, decades. And the same with thunderstorms. We very rarely hear thunder. Only in the last couple of years doing these videos. Actually, this is about the 5th year we've been making these videos here on the One Pacific Redwood channel. But thunderstorms were very rare to hear thunder and lightning and all that. Only in the last couple of years has that begun to reappear here in California. But the transmitters target these developing systems, disrupting the lift, and so we very rarely have thunder showers. We hear the thunder, but nothing comes of it. Okay, so once again, we have Hanna here. We have Gonzalo, which is now listed as we're seeing the remnants of Gonzalo with 35 mile per hour winds and a pressure of 1,011 millibar, moving due west at 21 miles per hour. So we don't know what's going to happen here. This could actually move back out into the Caribbean Sea and re-strengthen. We could see that happen. We'll keep an eye on that. And there's another disturbance out here off of Africa with a 20% chance of hurricane development. Okay, let's go to the Central Pacific real quick, and we can see that Douglas is moving ever closer to the islands with Category 1 status, 90 mile per hour sustained winds, central pressure of 984 millibar, and moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and look at some of the satellite images here. This is the water vapor map for Douglas. And we can see that it is being targeted. The eye wall is somewhat disorganized. And we can see some high pressure installed on the back side of this system. This very odd dark area, that shouldn't be there. We should see a very nice uniformity of water vapor all the way around that system. But we're seeing blast patterns, and so these transmitters are targeting that storm. That is happening. And we see no rotation out here in addition to all that. See, we have rotation in the vortex, but out here, we don't see anything rotating around the weather system. Normally with a hurricane, it looks sort of like a galaxy. You see, stars, everything is moving around the vortex. But here we see we've got high pressure on the southeastern side of that system, which is peeling off some of this moisture. It's just sort of drifting off. That's very strange. Let's take a look next at the, I don't think I have all right. I don't have a long wave IR map pulled up of Douglas, but we will continue to keep a close eye on this system. It's a Category 1, and it is moving towards the island of, it looks like it may hit direct hit on the island of Oahu, possibly, right here, which is where all the military assets are. And we have Kauai, and I think that's Molokai. I can't remember where Molokai is. I think Molokai is down over off of near Maui or something. Anyhow, Kauai is up here, and so it looks like it may skirt the island of Oahu right here on Sunday afternoon at 8 p.m. Now they've revised this. Looks like it'll hit one of these islands right in the evening of Sunday. All right. Now, we've seen many, many times where hurricanes come out and appear to be moving right towards Hawaii, and at the last second, they steer them out of the way and blow them apart. They superheat them with these satellite transmitters, and that's what we're looking for, is to see this thing destroyed. Now, why that's not happening in Texas? Well, we have to look at the financial side of things. There's a lot of people that are working the inside. They're betting insurance options, put options, disaster bonds, all sorts of things, financial instruments, and the weather controllers will allow hurricanes to move in and right into Texas, and the insiders clean up. They make millions of dollars because they know what's going to happen before the rest of us know. Looking at the water vapor map here, looking at Hanna, we can see that the storm is being targeted. We see the blast patterns, the rapidly expanding pressure waves where this is being superheated. Pull the contrast down on this so we can see that a little better. You can see those pressure waves, these circular pressure waves. as that storm is targeted. Now, if we go to the visible light map, this is interesting because we see the sunrise here, and I'm just going to right here. Let me turn the contrast up a little bit. There it is. Now we can see the areas where the satellite is actually targeting this storm. We see these deep craters, these pockmarks, craters, and then we see them expand out. I'll just play this back and forth a little bit, and you can see these craters, like this one right here. We can see that thing expand. And this is what's actually happening. This is where the satellite targets the weather system, and we have the superheating process where the water is rapidly heated, instantly heated, and that creates this pressure wave which moves out radially from the targeted point. And we can see those all right here. I'm going to try to get this, get the contrast right. Hopefully we can see that. I'm just moving this, scrolling this sequence back and forth so you can see the progression where these satellites are actually targeting. There's about 3 groups here where it's targeting the top of that storm. And we can see those craters expand as the system is targeted. And that disrupts the lift in the system. And so this system doesn't really appear to have an eye wall. When we look, we'll go ahead and let it run now. But if we go back to the long wave IR map, we see that the system doesn't appear to have an eye wall. It's sort of a disorganized mess. It's being targeted. And we see these pressure waves and the icicle pattern from the pressure waves. Same thing in the water vapor map. I'll turn the contrast back down here so you can see that. It's sort of overexposed to begin with here on this water vapor map. So the storm is being targeted. When we look at the Doppler map, we see a nice circular, a hole here. It's rather odd looking at the satellite map and then coming back and seeing the precipitation pattern. This appears to be a well-organized weather system, but the actual satellite data would indicate otherwise. There is rotation, and we do see a sort of an eye wall there towards the end of the progression. So we're going to keep an eye on this, and we'll probably do another update as needed, either, tonight or tomorrow early on Sunday. Okay, let's get back and take another look here. So we'll keep an eye on Douglas. Both Hanna and Douglas are now at Category 1 status. And we'll keep an eye on that. We'll just leave it right here. Obviously the WSR88D's are not working, which they should be working. This is a Category 1 hurricane, for crying out loud. Those WSR88D's apparently are just used, selectively used to for the purposes of for gambling and dealing with weather options and so forth. They can precisely control the amount of rain any area will receive, and so that's an important factor when you're an insider in the weather options and trading end of things. All right, that's going to be it for now. We'll do another update probably tonight or tomorrow. That's it.